You ever feel like you're working so hard to get better, at life, at mindfulness, whatever it is, but you're just not getting anywhere? Well, today we are diving into a teaching from the Zen master Mazu that completely flips that entire idea on its head. And it's a paradox that, honestly, might just change how you see, well, everything. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll unpack the paradox itself. Then we'll get into Mazu's core teaching about what your mind already is. After that, we'll look at the common traps we all fall into, and then find some clarity with this really beautiful metaphor of an ocean. And finally, we'll bring it all home and ask, so, what do we do now? All right, let's get into it. Our story starts in a way a lot of these Zen stories do, with a monk asking his teacher a question. He thinks he's asking for a simple roadmap, but the answer he gets, well, it's a riddle that people have been thinking about for centuries. I mean, this is a question we all ask in our own way, right? How do I do this right? What's the best way to live? How do I get better? The monk, he wants a set of instructions, a simple to-do list. But Mazu's answer just throws the entire rulebook right out the window. And here it is, the big twist. Mazu says, the way isn't something to be practiced. Okay, but then in the very next breath he says, but if you don't practice, you're just an ordinary person. What? It's a perfect catch-22. You can't win, but you can't quit either. So, what gives? This is just classic Zen, right? Mazu is doing this on purpose. He's knocking us off balance. He's taking our most basic assumption that we have to do something to become something better, and he's completely short-circuiting it. He's basically saying, the game is rigged, but you still gotta play. So to even begin to solve this riddle, we have to understand Mazu's most fundamental teaching. And the paradox really only starts to make sense once you grasp his view of what you already are, right here in this very moment. And this brings us to this core idea of self-nature. Look, think of it this way. Enlightenment isn't some prize you win at the end of a long journey. It's the ground you're already standing on. It's your factory default setting. It's not something you have to build or acquire. You just have to realize it's been there the whole time. And this really gets to the heart of it. If your true mind, your self-nature, is already whole and complete, how could you possibly gain it? And if it's the very essence of who you are, how could you ever lose it? Our whole search for something out there is just based on a case of mistaken identity. Okay, so if our true nature is already here, why doesn't it feel that way most of the time? Well, it's because our very ideas about what practice is supposed to be can actually become traps. And Mazu points out a few of the most common ones we fall into. And this is the natural next question, right? If we have this amazing self-nature, why do we feel so unenlightened? Well, according to Mazu, it's because our very effort to get it is the thing that's hiding it from us. It's like we're running around looking for our glasses when they're sitting right on top of our head. And here they are, the big ones. We try to purify ourselves by chasing after good thoughts and pushing away evil ones, but that just creates more conflict. We try to force our minds into some special, quiet, peaceful state, completely missing the awareness that's already here. We think of enlightenment as some graduation day in the future. We even get stuck on a teacher's words, turning what should be helpful signposts into a cage. Every single one of these efforts just reinforces the big lie, that we are somehow incomplete right now. I mean, just think about how radical this is. Mazu is saying that the very awareness you are using to try and concentrate is the concentration you're looking for. You're already in it. It's like trying to find the ground while you're standing firmly on it. This doesn't just move the goalpost, it completely changes the game. So if practice isn't about gaining something new, then what is it? To explain this, Mazu uses this incredibly powerful and beautiful metaphor that just cuts right through all the confusion. This is where he gives us this idea of heian samādhi, or the ocean seal samādhi. The best way to think about it is to imagine a perfectly calm, still ocean. It acts like a giant mirror or a seal, reflecting the entire sky, every cloud, every star, without any distortion. This is a metaphor for a mind that sees everything exactly as it is, without picking, choosing, or judging. And here's how the metaphor really works. Think of all your experiences, the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, the sacred, the mundane. Think of them all as different rivers. Some are clean and pristine, others are muddy and polluted. We spend our lives trying to dam up the dirty rivers and only swim in the clean ones. But Mazu says, no, just let them all flow into the vast ocean of your awareness. Because once they're in the ocean, there's no dirty water or clean water. It all just becomes one single taste ocean. And this is the real meaning of practice. It's not about filtering your experience. It's not about curating a perfect, clean life. It's about opening up to all of it. It's about using the water of every single river, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as part of the one great ocean of your life. And this brings it right back down to earth. See, enlightenment isn't some mystical state you have to achieve on a remote mountaintop. It's happening right now. The simple act of eating your lunch, of talking to a friend, of doing your job. These aren't distractions from the path. They are the path. They're just the waves on the surface of this one great enlightened ocean. So, we've come full circle, we've wrestled with the paradox, we've explored the metaphor of the ocean. So where does all this leave us? What's the final instruction? Here it is. It's that simple. The answer was never out there. It's not in a book or a special technique or even in Makosa's own words. The entire journey is just this one simple turn inward. Stop searching for some other, better, more enlightened mind in the future. Turn your attention directly to the mind that is doing the searching, right here, right now, because that itself is it. And so Mazu leaves us with this. And it's not a question to answer with your intellect, it's a question to live into. If you truly stopped trying to become enlightened and just accepted that at your core you are enlightened, what would change? How would you walk through the world right now from that place? And that, Mazu is telling us, is the only practice that really matters.